Have you ever stopped to think that love can knock on our door at any stage of life? Sometimes it arrives quietly, without making a fuss, like that sunset that appears at the end of the afternoon, calm, beautiful, but full of meaning. And you know what? There are many people out there discovering or rediscovering love after 60. And this is something wonderful that deserves to be celebrated, not hidden. But it's not always easy to admit this. Many people at this stage in life think that it's time, that dating is something for young people, that the time for love is long gone. And I understand. Unfortunately, society insists on putting us in a box, as if after a certain age, all that's left is to sit in an armchair, take care of our grandchildren, and wait for time to pass. But the truth is that the heart has no age. It's still here, beating, wanting affection, company, care, and, yes, passion. And that's why today I want to talk to you about something that few people talk about, but that deserves all our attention: the advantages of dating after 60. Because yes, they exist, and they are powerful. Many people imagine that falling in love at this age is complicated, that it comes with limitations. But those who have lived longer feel differently, with more calm, more clarity, more truth. You know, the other day I heard from a lady who met an old school friend on a walking group. She told me, "I never imagined I would fall in love again. And look, it was the best thing that happened to me in the last few years." Her eyes were shining. It wasn't just because of the romance. It was because she felt alive again, seen, desired, valued. And that's where one of the first great advantages of dating after 60 lies. We already know what we don't want. We're no longer in that phase of illusions, of molding ourselves too much to please the other person, of annulling ourselves to fit into the relationship. We've already learned, sometimes the hard way, that good love is the kind that welcomes, not demands, that adds, not weighs. So when someone comes into our lives at this stage, the tendency is to be more lighthearted, more honest. There's no more time for games. We want the truth. This emotional clarity is a blessing, because after so many years of experiences, good and bad, we learn to listen to ourselves better. And that makes all the difference. It's as if we finally become our own guides to our hearts. And when two mature hearts meet, they know how to talk. They know how to respect each other's time. They know how to appreciate a touch of the hand, a long look, a silence that doesn't bother. Another beautiful thing is that dating at this age is less rushed and more present. There is no anxiety about the future, about owning a house, about having children, about a job. We don't date thinking about the future. We date to live in the present. And that makes everything more enjoyable. An afternoon coffee together becomes a special moment. A walk in the park becomes an adventure. A hug at the end of the day carries the sweet weight of everything that has been experienced. And you know what else? Mature love brings back something that sometimes we didn't even realize was missing: the joy of being cared for and caring for others. Because even though we're independent, it's so good to have someone who cares, who asks if you slept well, who sends a message saying, "Take care of yourself." This warms the soul. It makes us feel important again, wanted, and this has a huge impact on self-esteem. How many times do we fade away without realizing it? Especially those who are widowed, separated, or spent years dedicating themselves to others and forgetting about themselves. The arrival of a new love can rekindle everything that was silent: desire, the sparkle in our eyes, the desire to get ready, to go out, to live. And it's not that we need someone to feel good, but that someone can be a mirror that shows how charming we still are, even with wrinkles, even with scars, even with difficult stories. The other day, a man told me that after many years of being alone, he started talking to a friend from the neighborhood. Little by little, they got closer, going for walks and having coffee together. He said, "I don't even know if we're dating, but she makes me laugh in a way no one has in a long time, and that has already changed my days. Look at this beautiful thing. It doesn't have to be a great movie romance. Sometimes, mature love is made up of these small acts of kindness, these sincere encounters that give meaning to the day. And if you're thinking that maybe this isn't for you anymore, that your phase has passed, let me tell you something with all my love. As long as there's life, there's affection. As long as the heart beats, it can love. Don't close yourself off because of what others think. Don't sabotage yourself by thinking that you're no longer capable, because you are. And maybe the most beautiful love of your life is yet to come. Or it's already there, by your side, disguised as friendship. This type of relationship, when it is born, comes with a different rhythm. It is like a slow dance, where each step is felt, each gesture has value. We learn to listen better, to respect each other's time, to share our lives more generously. It is no longer about completing the other, but about walking together, side by side, with respect and partnership. And look, I'm not saying it's always easy. It's not. Sometimes we carry fears, insecurities, scars from past relationships. Sometimes we have that doubt. Will I be able to handle it? Do I still know how to love? Will I be accepted with all the marks of time? But that's where the beauty of mature love comes in. It embraces these marks. It doesn't demand perfection. It recognizes the stories. And that's so much deeper than any hasty passion. Shall we continue this conversation? There are still so many beautiful things to talk about on this topic. Will you join me a little longer? You know, there's something few people realize when they talk about dating after 60, how it can bring us a renewed sense of purpose. Because when we fall in love at this stage of life, everything takes on a new flavor. Simple, everyday things like making breakfast, going for a walk, watching a movie, start to have meaning again, start to shine again. We start to think about someone other than ourselves, and that makes us want to live with more presence. It's as if time has a different rhythm. And the curious thing is that, contrary to what many people think, it's not about escaping loneliness, but about choosing company. About realizing that even alone, we can be fine, but together, it can be even better. Not out of necessity, but out of affinity, out of affection, out of a desire to share life, even if it's just in small pieces of the day. And here comes another wonderful advantage of dating after 60, emotional freedom. Because when we are younger, we often enter a relationship full of expectations, wanting the other person to fill spaces, resolve insecurities, heal wounds that have not yet healed properly. But with time, we learn to be self-sufficient, to understand that the other person does not come to complete us, but to add to us. And that changes everything.
When two mature people meet, they have usually already experienced losses, disappointments, and new beginnings. They are no longer trying to be perfect or hide their weaknesses. On the contrary, they show themselves as they are. And it is in this transparency that true love is born. A love that does not demand masks, that does not impose conditions, that does not suffocate. A love that respects the story that each person carries. Have you noticed how at this stage of life we value shared silence? You don't need to talk all the time. Being together in peace, even in silence, is already a form of love. An understanding look, a caress at the right time, a light touch on the shoulder. These are small gestures that speak volumes. They are ways of saying, "I'm here," without needing many words. And there's one more thing that few people say. Dating after 60 can be a lot of fun. Yes, really fun. Because we've taken ourselves so seriously throughout our lives. We've had to be strong, responsible, a caregiver, a provider, a mother, a father, a grandfather, a grandmother. And now it's as if we finally have permission to play again. To laugh at silly things, make spontaneous plans, dance for no reason in the living room, send silly messages just to see the other person smile. This light side of mature love is precious. It brings vitality. Because laughter, lightness, affection, all of this rejuvenates. It's no exaggeration. There are studies that show that love, touch, and affection have real effects on our health. They reduce stress, improve sleep, and strengthen immunity. And it's not just in the body that the change happens, it's in the soul too. We wake up with more energy, with more sparkle in our eyes, and more hope for the day. And look, I know that sometimes fear sets in. Fear of opening up again, of trusting, of suffering again. After all, not every relationship in the past was easy. Sometimes there were betrayals, abandonments, pains that took years to heal. And the fear of getting hurt again is real. But the chance to experience something beautiful, new, sincere is also real. And to do that, you need to give your heart a new chance. Maybe this chance comes from someone you already know but have never seen with these eyes. Or maybe it appears suddenly, in an unexpected conversation, in an unpretentious meeting, in a dance group, on a walk, in an online course. The important thing is to be open. It is not to close the doors of your heart because of old pains. Because life, with all its ups and downs, still has a lot to offer, including in love. And you know something that only those who have lived a long time can understand? That love doesn't need to be eternal to be valuable. That even if it lasts for months, years, or however long it takes, if it is true, respectful, generous, it is already worth it. It has already fulfilled its role. It has already been a light on the path. And that, my friend, is already an immense gift. Love after 60 also has another difference. It invites us to care for each other with tenderness. And this does not mean dependence. It means presence. Sometimes it means remembering to take your medicine. Sometimes it means noticing if the other person is quieter than usual. It means making tea on those cold days. It means sharing your blanket and your life with kindness. And in this caring, we are also cared for. Because it's not just about giving, it's about receiving too. It's about learning to accept affection, help, and love. Many of us spend our lives caring for others. And when someone shows up to take care of us, it makes our hearts ache, a mixture of gratitude and surprise. But it's good, it's necessary, because we all deserve to be cared for with love at any stage of our lives.
And remember, dating doesn't have to follow a pattern. It doesn't have to be the way it used to be. Mature dating can involve weekly dates, daily phone calls, occasional trips, or even living together if you want. There are no rules anymore. There is desire, there is agreement, there is dialogue, and that is liberating. We can build a relationship our way, with our rules, at our pace, without pressure, without obligation, only with truth, only with the desire to be together. And do you know what's most beautiful about all this? It's that mature love teaches us that it's never too late. Never. Because as long as the heart is willing, it can love. And love at this stage has the power to reconnect us with the best part of ourselves, the one that dreams, that laughs for no reason, that believes again. And if you're listening to all this and thinking, wow, do you think there's still time for me? I can tell you with absolute certainty, yes, there is. It doesn't matter if you're 60, 70, or 80. Love doesn't look at the number of candles on the cake. It looks at the sparkle in your eyes, the willingness to start over, the courage to feel. Shall we continue this conversation? I still have more things to tell you, beautiful stories and reflections that can spark something inside you. Have you ever noticed how, after a certain age, we start to choose better what really matters? We are less in a hurry, but the value of things increases. And this also applies to love. We no longer want to rush, play games, or doubts. What we want is peace, companionship, truth, a love that embraces us completely, including our scars, our quirks, our limitations. It's curious to think that just when the body begins to show us the signs of time, the heart begins to show signs of wisdom, because it has already been beaten, healed, and started over so many times that now it knows exactly what it deserves. And when it finds someone who respects this time, this space, this history, oh, that is a wonderful gift. Perhaps that's why one of the biggest advantages of dating after 60, and this one almost no one talks about, is the depth of the connection. Because we no longer love with our eyes, we love with our gaze. We no longer love just by touch. We love by caring. We no longer love to show it to others. We love to feel it deep inside our hearts. It's a love that is built on the details, in the warm good morning, in the sincere concern, in the respected silence, in the shared laughter. And this connection, when it happens, transforms. It transforms your routine, your health, and your way of life. Because when you have someone to share your life with, even the hard days become easier. You gain a point of support, a voice that calms you, a company that warms you. And that makes all the difference. Some say that after a certain age, love is just friendship. I disagree. Love can have the comfort of friendship, but it still has the flame of passion, the desire for touch, the surprise of encounters. But now, all of this is seasoned with respect, patience, and maturity. Mature love doesn't run, it walks hand in hand. And on this journey, each step has more meaning. And it's important to say, there is no right age to start over. What exists is the moment when you feel deep down that you deserve more, that you deserve calm affection, a conversation that welcomes you, a kiss that doesn't demand anything, a hug that understands. The moment when you stop wondering if it will work out and start allowing yourself to live, one day at a time, with courage and gentleness. Sure, it might take a while. Maybe your previous attempts didn't go as you expected, but that's okay. What's important is not to close your heart. It's about keeping your chest open to what life still has to offer. Because love after 60 can be surprising. It can be lighter, more enjoyable, more genuine than at any other stage in life.
And if you are alone today and this video resonated with you, maybe it is a sign to take better care of yourself, to make room in your routine for new possibilities. Maybe start a new activity, join a group, talk to new people, go out more, smile more. Because when we move on the inside, life responds on the outside. And if you already have someone and that love is blossoming now, cherish it. Take care of it carefully. Don't let fear stop you from feeling it. Because look, mature love is like a garden that blooms at the right time. Even if the soil was hard, even if the rains were heavy, it still blooms. And when it blooms, it's beautiful. That's why I insist, loving after 60 is not an exception, it's an opportunity. It's a rediscovery. It's a rebirth. And every person who allows themselves to experience this is proving that life doesn't end with age. It transforms. And it can, yes, become richer, more colorful, more true. So if this video touched your heart, I want to invite you to share it with someone you think needs to hear it. It could be a friend, a family member, or even an acquaintance who is a little skeptical about love. Maybe this message could be just the little push he or she needed to believe again. And if you want, leave a comment below telling me, have you ever experienced love after 60? Are you experiencing it? Or are you still preparing to experience it? I would love to read and respond. This space is made for us to listen to each other, support each other, and share experiences. Because no one needs to go through this alone. Love is more beautiful when it is shared, even in words. And never forget, life after 60 can still be full of energy, choice, and joy. You haven't wasted your time. You are in your own time. And perhaps this time now, with all its wisdom and maturity, is exactly the right time to truly love. See you in the next video. And until then, take care of yourself and allow yourself to be, because love is for you too.